Hey guys, Lynn here with another video, and I think you're going to absolutely love this one. Now, our president, Donald Trump, has been working his tail off since January 20th, seemingly 24 hours a day. I don't know of one day that he's taken off. He's beholden to no one but the middle class of America. I don't know of any president that has ever met that criteria. We can't get any big items through, though, because everything Trump has done has been through executive orders or the power of the executive branch, and that's it. So what's stopping it? Paul Ryan is the number one reason. Who is Paul Ryan? Where did he come from? Well, let's rewind back to 2011. Paul Ryan was a 41-year-old congressman with 12 years experience in the House that had proposed only 3 bills that became law. One named a post office in Wisconsin. Another one changed the taxes being charged on arrows that bow hunters use. So he is unaccomplished, a nobody from nowhere. Now, in the next 6 years, he had a meteoric rise to power. In that 6 years' time, he became the chairman of the Budget Committee, super powerful position, vice presidential candidate of the United States, featured in Time magazine, Speaker of the House, and then before Trump, probably he was destined to be a 2020 presidential candidate. Now, how did he do this? Was it luck? Absolutely not. Very powerful people put him in position, and all he had to do was sell out you and me, the American people. I could do a 20-hour expose on Paul Ryan and all of the corruption he has his fingers in, but as always, I'm going to do this video in 7 minutes, and in that 7 minutes, you're going to be the most knowledgeable person in your circle about who Paul Ryan is, where he came from, what he has, and what he's been doing. So let's take a look. Now let's rewind to 2011. Mitt Romney, candidate, president of the United States, going against Barack Obama, who had over an 8% unemployment rate. GDP was just at 1.7%. Household income well below 2009 when he took over. Manufacturing was down. Gas prices were up. People felt the country was on the wrong track, and they were excited about a change. Now, with momentum on his side and Obama back on his heels, Mitt Romney names his running mate.
Vice President of the United States, Paul Ryan.
Who? Yeah, folks, at the peak of his popularity, has Obama on the ropes, Mitt Romney names an unaccomplished, no-name nobody from nowhere as his running mate. Folks, we were scammed. They had no desire or intention to win that election. It was political theater for our benefit for the sole purpose of bringing Paul Ryan into the limelight. And I'm about to prove that to you. Think about it, guys. Back in the early 80s, liberals had it exactly where they wanted. Jimmy Carter had America completely on his back. Economy, military, taxes, everything. Then comes along Ronald Reagan. He did damage to the liberal agenda that took them 25 years to recover from. So they decided, and they ended up having both horses in every race from that point forward. Think about it. Bush 1 against Bill Clinton. Bush 2 against Al Gore. Bush 2 against John Kerry. Obama against McCain. Which one of them are global elitists? Answer, every single one of them. They have both horses in every race. Now, they knew that they could get Hillary elected in 2016. They knew the American people would be sick of Democrats by that point and would want a Republican candidate. So they elevated in 2012 Paul Ryan. That way he would be in the public eye for 8 years and he would be popular. So Romney didn't throw the election, you say. Okay, well, Tag Romney, his son, said specifically that Mitt did not want to win, but what does he know? How about the fact that Mitt Romney, right in the middle of campaign season, did not respond to Bill O'Reilly's offer to give him a full hour on his show, the most popular news program in the history of the world? Or how about the fact that he was still gaining on Obama, goes and gives a speech to mid-level donors, a room full of them with all recording devices, and talks about how 47% of Americans want handouts and he's not worried about them, alienating all minority voters. Accident? Yeah, okay. No, Romney was sabotaging his campaign, or he's stupid. Not too many people accuse him of being stupid. Just like how he stopped campaigning completely as he was gaining on Obama to prep for the debates. But he didn't want to win the debates. All he had to do to crush the debates was bring up Benghazi. 4 Americans died. Obama and Hillary blamed it on YouTube videos. The American people know they were lying. Obama had no response for it. Romney never brought it up once. No, this campaign was all about elevating Paul Ryan into the public eye for 8 years before the 2020 presidential election. But the powers that be had a problem. The highly popular GOP majority leader, Eric Cantor. Yep, Cantor was about to become one of the most powerful politicians in the country by becoming Speaker of the House as soon as John Boehner retired. And all he had to do was beat the unknown David Brat. That was going to be easy because Cantor spent more on dinners than Brat had available to spend on his entire campaign. And then the impossible happens.
One of the most powerful Republicans in Washington has just lost his congressional bid to a Tea Party challenger. The news breaking a short time before we came to air, the House Majority Leader, Eric Cantor, has been defeated by somebody whose name you probably had never heard prior to tonight.
That was the first time a primary challenger beat a sitting House Majority Leader in a primary since 1899. But let's look at what happened behind the scenes. To understand the Cantor downfall, we have to meet toxic billionaire globalist Koch brothers, Charles and David, and one of their many minions, John Allison of BB&T Bank. Now we'll unravel some corruption, but before we do, it's important you know the Cato Institute used to be the Koch Foundation, and the Cato Institute is one of the leading and most powerful libertarian think tanks in the entire world. Remember John Ellison? Well, he was the CEO of BB&T Bank, his bank gave $500,000 to Randolph-Macon College under his watch to hire an unknown, soon-to-be surprise Congressman, Dave Brat, for a made-up position. Shortly after that, BB&T was on the verge of collapse, had to get a $2.1 billion bank bailout from the TARP program, and then John leaves the bank shortly after they got it. And now I want you to take a guess. Who was one of the biggest advocates for the $700 billion taxpayer-funded TARP program?
That's why I think we have to pass this bill. I yield.
Meanwhile, the Koch brothers had a massive lawsuit against the Cato Institute suing for controlling interest, and they were willing to drop this lawsuit under one condition: if they fired their CEO and hired a new CEO of their choosing. Guess who that might be? You got it, folks. John Allison. He ends up leaving BB&T Bank and ends up at the influential Cato Institute as their new CEO. Okay, so let's recap. All right, stay with me, guys. John Allison got his bank, BB&T, to indirectly fund David Brat and, by osmosis, Paul Ryan's campaign. And in return, he got a dream job with the influential Cato Institute. BB&T got $2.1 billion of taxpayer money in the form of a bailout, all for giving $500,000 to Randolph-Macon College. Randolph-Macon College got the $500,000. David Brat got a seat in Congress. Overnight, Paul Ryan went from an obscure unknown to the most powerful Republican politician in America and probable at the time 2020 presidential candidate. And Paul Ryan got all of this for being the lead advocate on a $700 billion taxpayer-funded bank bailout. That and selling his soul to the Koch brothers. Now, the Koch brothers, they were the real winners in all of this. The question we have to ask ourselves, how much of that $700 billion made it into the pockets of the Koch brothers? And even if it wasn't a penny, they still have control of the Speaker of the House and a potential 2020 presidential nominee. Now, the only losers in all this is the American taxpayers who spent $70 billion to have a corrupt politician who's working against us and working to sabotage us at every possible turn. Hey guys, looks like I went over the 7 minutes just a little bit, so I'm going to have to do a part 2 because I didn't even get into the Paul Ryan corruption. That video is going to be more informative and more interesting than this was, I guarantee it. But a few things. Please take a second and stop, like, subscribe, and leave me feedback. Let me know what I did well. Let me know what I could do differently. Let me know what you want to see, what topics you want to see videos on, and your information is going to help me help us better. Next off, circulate this information. I don't care if you take this video and mimic it and do your own video and put it out there. That's fine. Just get this information out. We need to get this out by 2018 midterms, and we need to help Trump as much as he's helping us. So please circulate this information often. Lastly, guys, it's taken me about 4 or 5 days to do one video because my equipment sucks, my software sucks. I'm really on base shoestring equipment. If any of you have any equipment laying around, any of this type, like audio, webcams, or what have you, that you'd want to donate, please do. It would help out quite a bit. If not, if you're interested in just donating a few bucks towards that cause, that would be much appreciated as well. Anyhow, thanks a lot, guys. I'll get part 2 out within a few days. Love you guys.